Now, I just got off the phone with a good friend of mine. I know in the Jersey Heads community. We know him, Big Slim. Going out in Maryland, he's a big Eagle fan, and we were venting about this last game. The Eagles lose 27-24 to the Redskins, three straight losses, and barring Dallas losing twice in a row and the Eagles actually winning next week at the Meadowlands, they're not going to make the playoffs. And I was angry. Uh, I haven't been this angry after an Eagles, basically, barring a Christmas miracle. The Eagles aren't going to be in the playoffs this year, and I wasn't this angry after a season since they lost to the Panthers in the NFC title game back in 2003, I believe. Um, I'm absolutely just I'm frustrated. I'm disappointed that yet again I have to, me and all the other Eagle fans out there, we have to have a season end like this. It just seems to be Groundhog Day. It's never gonna, you know, um, the football sun has to shine on us sometime, right? Sometime. um, it's maddening to have a season come down to these games and we lose because they didn't do in the offseason what we wanted them to do. And to get better, at least one better corner back on this team. At least one. Now they go out, they get Malcolm Jenkins. Okay, that was an upgrade at safety, although I think most safeties will be an upgrade over Patrick Chung from a year ago. But that being said, Malcolm, yeah, he has moments. He has some moments where he probably would have liked back some of those pick sixes that were in his hands that he couldn't hold on to. But Malcolm's a pro. You can certainly build a secondary with guys like him. You just need more. And Nate Allen, you know what? We've been through the Nate Allen rodeo year after year, and it's like, nah, no more Nate Allen. He had a big interception today. I give him credit, but no more Nate Allen, please. Most of the time, he just seems lost out there. It's time to move on from the Nate Allen experience. And of course, the corners, Williams and Fletcher. Two corners. I've never seen corners that don't turn around for the ball. I've never seen, and we have two of them. We don't only have one, we have two. Two for the price of one. They don't do this at all. They like to hold, if they're going to be beaten and get flagged for it, or, you see Williams stay after a third down that the Redskins didn't convert. He gets into a shoving match with one of the players and he gets flagged for it. That was good. Williams did that. Kerry Williams. And it's frustrating. I'm not saying the fans are always right, but we've been right about things that this team hasn't done, and we've questioned things that this team has done. And I know the old saying is if you listen to the fans, you're going to sit with them. But you know what? Maybe if the Eagles would have listened to us when it was going into the 2005, 2006 season, and we said, pay Terrell Owens, pay him what he wants. Maybe they should have done that. Maybe they should have drafted Earl Thomas. The fans wanted them to draft him after they get rid of Dawkins, and the fans are like, okay, well, we hate the fact that you did that, but since you did that, draft Earl Thomas. No, we're going to draft Brandon Graham. Now, Brandon Graham had a nice season. He'll probably get paid. He'll probably be back this season. He finally seems to have a role. He finally seems to understand how to play in the National Football League. I'm glad. I'm happy for him. I'm glad that it took time, but some players it takes a little longer, and he certainly had a good year. He deserves to get paid. He deserves to be back on this team next year. I really think he can help solidify this defensive front seven. That's been really good. That's been the strength of this defense. I think it would get even better. Guys like Cox and Barwin and Graham going forward. I do. But they need a secondary. And going into this season, one of the big question marks for us. Now, we didn't know exactly how good this front seven could be, and they certainly proved their worth. Linebackers, they still need some help. I like Michael Kendricks. I think he's going to grow in this defense. I don't know about the situation with D'Amico Ryans, if he'll be back next season, or if he is, he's a solid pro. I won't be upset if he's back next season. But the damn secondary. Two things are going to kill you every season: shaky quarterback play and bad secondary on defense. And in the end, that's the thing that doomed the Eagles. And getting rid of Deshaun Jackson, which I will never understand. I don't think any Eagle fan will ever quite understand what the hell that was all about. And they can say all they want about, oh, he was a trouble in the locker room or whatever. Well, you know what? The Seahawks won a Super Bowl last year with Percy Harvin on the team. He got in a fist fight with a teammate before the Super Bowl, and they won the Super Bowl. I don't see a lot of Seattle fans unhappy that they won the Super Bowl because Percy Harvin was on the team, or a lot of his former teammates, maybe even Golden Tate, who had a shiner in the Super Bowl, complaining that they won the Super Bowl with him on the team. Now, he's not there anymore. And you know why they can get away with not having him, and why they can get away, although I'm sure if you ask any Seahawk fan right now, they would love to have Golden Tate back. Why they can get away with making those moves? Because they have a dominant defense that can stop the other team. You know what the Eagles don't have? A dominant defense. They have a very good front seven, good enough linebacker play, could be better, but they don't have the secondary to get away with getting rid of one of your best playmakers in the offseason. And for all the things that Chip Kelly has done, and we still don't know what we have in Chip Kelly. And I know a few weeks ago I said, I still believe in Chip Kelly. I want to believe in Chip Kelly. You know why? Because I don't want to go through the whole deal with we have to get a new coach and start all over again. Because I'm tired of starting all over again. Even with Andy Reid, there was times where we had to start all over again. I'm tired of starting all over again. I don't want to get another coach and then another, coordinate, more new coordinators, new players, go through the drafts, go through all this whole new, ring around again. It's Groundhog's Day. I don't want to do that. I want to believe that Chip is the right guy for this team, that he's the right coach for this team, but I don't know. I've had 2 seasons. Last season was great. Makes the playoffs in his first year. Andy Reid didn't do that. Andy Reid won 3 games or 4 games or whatever it was in his first year. Okay, Chip Kelly wins 10 games, gets to the playoffs. And I know there was a lot of pixie dust in that season with teams having hurt players or whatever. But the fact is they still won 10 games. With a shaky defense. From time to time. With a backup quarterback. By the way, Nick Foles was a backup quarterback last year with his 27-2 touchdown to interception ratio. Okay? They had a lot of things go right. I understand that. But the fact is they still won the division. They had a home playoff game. They lost to the Saints. But they had success. And instead of building on that success, they get rid of Deshaun Jackson. They don't make the moves they need to make in the secondary. They have problems this year. The injuries they had, okay, it's well stated. The quarterback goes down. Your starting quarterback goes down. You can't always rely on the backup every year. It doesn't happen like that. And I understand that. But I still don't know what we have in Chip Kelly. I'm still not sure. Because instead of going up the ladder, we kind of tumbled down a bit this year. And there was reasons for that, and I understand that. And, maybe these are correctable things going into this offseason. And you can have success again. One of the problems also for them was the first-round draft pick. They reached on a guy in Smith. Hardly played this year. And you cannot reach on guys in your first-round draft pick. You can't do that. And not if you're going to be a successful organization. And one of the things that Chip has got to learn from this experience is this season in the draft will probably have a higher first-round pick. No more reaching. Okay? Get a guy who's the best at the position that you need, such as a cornerback, a safety, another wide receiver, maybe a linebacker. That's what you need to do in the draft to have success. You see the teams that have success, they all draft well. They don't normally reach on a guy who's like a 3rd round rating in the 1st round. They don't do that. Okay? Because years ago when the Eagles could have had Earl Thomas, they reached on Brandon Graham. And it held them back for years, particularly at the safety position, held them back. And you can't do that and be a successful franchise. You cannot do that. You can have Belichick. I don't care. You can have this, whatever. You can't do that and be a successful franchise. So the jury's still out with Chip Kelly. And I'm willing to give him a chance next season and see what he, can they get this thing, can they get the ship righted? Can Chip right the ship? And we're going to see. We're going to see in the offseason. We're going to see in the draft. We're going to see in the free agency. We're going to see in everything that comes with it. This is the biggest offseason in his tenure. And, it's only his really, third full offseason. This is the big one. Because if they screw up again this year, we're going to go backwards. We're going to have another losing season next year. He'll probably go back off to college, and then we're going to have to go through the whole freaking, we have to get a new coach. We have to get a new system in place again and take another how many years? And the one thing that I can safely say, that I can tell you today, on December, the 20th, whatever it is, 12/20, 2014, this is not a patient fan base. We're patient to a point, but you better damn well start to win. And better damn well start to get this thing right. Because Eagle fans like myself have always been here for this team. And we care about this team. We want to win the Super Bowl more than any other fan. I don't care what fan base you are. And I'm not trying to start any wars here with fans. Because, look, you guys have passion. I have passion. But I can tell you, I live in Philadelphia. I listen to the sports talk every day. I live this. So I know I can safely say we want this thing more. That's why we get so upset after seasons. That's why you hear about the Negadelphia and this and that. Look at what we have to go through. Let me lay this out to you. The people from the other parts of the country and other parts of the world who might stumble across this video in this series. Let me lay this out to you, okay? As a Philadelphia fan. Now, you've heard a lot of things about us about being negative and all this, those fans. Well, take it from where I am right now. Okay, the Eagles they win on Thanksgiving, they don't win again. Okay? That's their last win. We went from possibly being able to get a first round bye and being at least maybe a 2 seed to not making the playoffs. The year after they make the playoffs and win a division. Okay? So we lose 3 straight games and probably won't make the playoffs. That's just the Eagles. The Flyers have been wildly inconsistent over the years. They haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1975. They've been close a lot, maybe more close than some other teams, but they haven't broken through. So they've been a heartbreak. Okay? I still see that freaking Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane, who should have been a Flyer, by the way. It's a stupid coin flip. But anyhow, okay, so they've been wildly inconsistent this year. We don't know if they'll make the playoffs. We got the Sixers. Oh, God, yes. The worst team in the NBA. Your Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers moniker, their theme is Together We Build. I don't know what the hell they're building. They get players who don't in the draft that don't play. If there's any team that had a worse draft in the first round than the Eagles did with Smith, it's the Sixers, because at least, well, I don't know, Smith only played a few games, but he played in more games than the Sixers' first round draft picks are going to play this year. Okay, Embiid, who's hurt, and Sarge, who's still playing overseas. So at least draft a guy who's going to play. And see what we build then. I still don't know what the hell they're building. You know what they did? They made a trade with the Brooklyn Nets. And one of the pieces they got back was a second-round draft pick for 2020. So now they're starting to scout grade school players. Middle school guys. This is what we're doing. Together we're building. We have the most second-round picks of any team in the NBA over the next how many years. That's all wonderful. So we got this to watch on a nightly basis. We got the Sixers, okay? Then we got the Phillies. God bless the Phillies. because they won in '08, and it was such a wonderful thing to see them win in '08, because that's the first title I've ever seen. And I'm 36 years old. Okay, that's my only parade. I was too young for the other ones in the '80s. That was it. That's all I've gotten. Being a fan of these teams for how many years? I have one parade that I've been to. Okay, and ever since that parade, the Phillies have gone down. They go to the World Series, lose to the Yankees. They go to the NLCS, lose to the Giants. The series they should have won. They go to the NLDS after winning 102 games, and they lose 1-0 to the Cardinals. And they've been awful ever since. All right, and this year it's not going to be any better. So this is what we have here. We have an Eagles team who disappointed. Okay, big time. And we have three teams that, well, the Flyers may sniff the playoffs, who knows? But the Sixers and Phillies probably aren't going to be sniffing the playoffs for another 4 or 5 years. So this is what we have. And you wonder why we're negative. Have I not laid this out for you? Can I do this any better? Because this is what we have. Okay, so you go through that and you try to keep positive. It's not easy. Okay, why so serious? It isn't easy to be a fan of these teams. They know how to get you. Anyhow, I might have another little segment for this this week's Season of the Fan video, but there's just a few things I wanted to get off my chest right after the game, and there's a few other things I want to do, but it's getting late. I'm tired, and I don't know how much sleep I'm going to get tonight, but I'm going to try. They get you. They know how to do it. Our teams know how to do it better than anyone. They just... Anyhow, I'm going to try to have a little more of a breakdown from this game and a little more about what the future might hold, at least the near future, in the next segment. And I'll have that out. I might even do a 2-video deal this time so I don't make this video too long. I noticed that some of the videos I make get a little, like, I apologize. You know, I'm just communicating as a fan, and when you're a fan, sometimes there is no time limit. You just go. So that's what I might do. I might make this a 2-parter, and this is part 1, and I'll have part 2 up later in the week. I would imagine, when I can just get the noggin going a little better. I'm so just. It's the emotion. And one of the things, again, about this series I want to do is show you the emotion of being an Eagle fan and what it is to be an Eagle fan. And maybe some of you have a better understanding of that through this series because you've seen the ups and downs. You've seen me after big wins and then me after horrible losses, including this one. And that's why being a fan of any football team, but in my case the Eagles, it is an experience. It's a once-a-week deal, and you get revved up for the game, and then you have all these emotions after the game, good or bad, or in between. And I'm tired of being let down. I'm tired of being let down by this team, but I'm going to be there for them. I'm not going to be like some of the other people in this area and start rooting for Dallas or one of the rival teams because I can't be an Eagle fan. I can't take it. No, I can't do that, okay? But they find ways to punch you in the gut. Why? But anyhow, I'll be back with part 2 a little later in the week. Eagles lose 27-24 to the Redskins, and for all intents and purposes, barring a Christmas holiday miracle, the Eagles will not be in the playoffs this year, will not be division champs, will not do that 2 years in a row. And there's a lot of questions to be answered, and we'll see how these questions get answered. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just a fan. Now I have to try to win with them on Madden. I've won 8 championships with them on Madden. I'm pretty proud about that. I have to do it again. Anyhow, until part 2, that's it for me. Go Colts. Beat Dallas. Gotta hope for something, right?